Hello, everybody. This is Gary Kay, and you're watching a special video version of my Rants and Rave podcast. As you know, we are podcasting and video casting a lot as we get closer to InfoComm. And as always, all of our video casts and podcasts, we're doing them on Tascam because we love their audio gear, and we love the Altia Systems Panacast camera video gear. I use them in my classroom, and I have fallen in love with the product. I'm here with Aurangzeb Khan, who is the founder of the company. And Aurangzeb, how are you doing?
Doing great, Gary. How are you doing? Good to see you again.
Good to see you again as well. We met this way 2 years ago for the first time. This will be your second or third, I guess third InfoComm show. You'll be in North Hall in booth 1868. You must be excited for the show.
Oh, yeah. We've got a big announcement coming up that we're going to share with you today, Gary. And yeah, very excited. Pretty good momentum for the company. About 1,500 companies now around the world, 400 universities using Panacast every day. And we really appreciate your own use of our product.
Yeah, I'll talk about my use as we get into this because I have two of them in my classroom, and I'll explain to everyone why. Of course, if you're going to be at UB Tech right before InfoComm, I'll be talking about how I'm using it in my sort of future-proof classroom of the future. Aurangzeb, talk about what you're going to launch at InfoComm because this is a sort of an exclusive launch to us.
Yes. You know, a while back, about January of 2017, we started shipping Intelligent Vision 1.0. We've got a major new addition to that technology that we're launching this June called Intelligent Vision 2.0. So that's what we're going to dig into here with you today. Let me also introduce my teammates Jesse Chen and John Zhang. And later on, Naveed Alam will also join us. So to maybe frame the conversation for you, put up a couple of slides. As you know, the Panacast device is unique. It consists of 3 cameras that are being synchronized in real time to give you that low distortion 180-degree field of view. And people love that because it feels like you're across the table from the folks you're working with. What's also a part of this system is that while it's delivering that video and audio input from the 2 microphones, it also works like a multi-sensor AI array. And we've been building AI algorithms and technologies that leverage existing data sets. As you know, one of the hard things about building an AI algorithm is how do you train it? And there we have a unique advantage because we are an array of 3 non-distorting cameras. So all the data you already have will work directly on the Panacast. And so as a result, you know, we're doing double duty. Think of us as a sensor and a camera array at the same time. The picture on the top shows you how people look, you know, when you're sitting across the table on a Panacast call. At the same time it's doing that, it can also be providing you numerical information, like how many people are visible to it. And you can use that information to automate things like zoom in or out, or to improve the performance of the video, like where to make the luminance better. Or you can use it to do resource management, like if somebody books a room and nobody shows up, this device will tell you there's nobody there, and you can free up the room. And then there are many other use cases because we can essentially generate big data. There's 2 versions.
It looks like, let me stop you real quick. So it looks like what I'm looking at is the bottom picture. I'm seeing little squares around people's heads. Is it identifying who they are or details about them, male or female, and the fact that they're in the room, or what is it identifying?
Yeah, great question. So, you know, what we're releasing is a technology that simply detects that there's a person there. It stores no information, so for privacy reasons, all it'll output is a numerical count. You know, 3 is the number it'll put out, and those squares are more of an engineering thing to show you that where does it think the people are. It uses a bunch of different algorithms, so you'll see kind of 2 different squares. But what it's detecting is the presence of a person, and this built-in technology needs to see a person from a front view or a side view, and it works to about 12 feet away.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we also have a new technology which we've developed in close collaboration with the Intel Client Computing Group Architecture and Innovation Division. They're the Intel Labs up in Hillsborough. You remember a year ago, Gary, we launched with you last year at InfoComm the whiteboard product.
Yeah, it squared everything up and you can see what's on the whiteboard. Yep.
Exactly right. And that's just been a great product for us. The universities really love that. This year we're launching Intelligent Vision 2.0. And the amazing thing with this technology, you know, it runs on an Intel processor in conjunction with the processor in our device, is that from the same physical Panacast 2 device that you already have, it extends the range from 12 feet to 40 feet. And it doesn't actually need to see the front of a face at all. It can be a front or a side view or even the back of my head. And I'm going to try and illustrate that to you. I'm going to snap out of this and pass the screen for John. And John's going to bring it up. And I'm going to try and illustrate that for you momentarily. So we're going to do a screen share. And now Naveed is showing up because he was sitting in front of the device. So now I'm going to get up, for example. I'm going to try and go about as far away as I can. Walk over to this corner. And you can see that it's still tracking me even though, you know, I turned all the way around, right?
Right.
So it's able to find me even when I'm really far away. And this technology can literally count up to hundreds of people at the same time.
Well, and I notice it's doing that, the counter's up there, but if you're detecting people, why couldn't you detect other objects in the room, like the objects that are actually in the room, like phones and computers and things like that as well?
Well, that's a super question. And in fact, we can. And so the wonderful thing about that is, you know, over the last couple of years, a lot of folks in academia and other labs have trained conventional cameras to detect a whole host of different objects. And John and our team literally took that pre-trained CNN, pulled it over and ran it on the Panacast, and were able to see some amazing results. And so we're going to try and share that with you right now. And there you have it.
Oh, so that's live?
That's live. That's happening right now. Exactly right. And so what you're seeing now is that not only is it recognizing us, you know, the people, it's saying person, it's also recognizing, you know, laptops.
Well, it saw the clock all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a little far. So I think sometimes it'll see it, sometimes it won't. But there you go. It saw the clock. So it'll typically find cell phones. So it's pretty amazing. Think about now this device not only giving you great audio and video, right? That used to be kind of the core requirement, and you know, hopefully we fulfill that fully. But also now optimizing the experience by framing your shot for you, or improving the lighting, or bringing in the whiteboard. And now through a standards-based API, it can start giving you information like how many different things it sees, how many of these different things are visible to it.
Yeah, and I suspect, or I guess I would ask, is it available for sort of customization? So for example, a law enforcement agency wants it to recognize more than just the number, or me in my class, in my case for my classroom, when I'm traveling, to be able to take attendance when I'm not there live. One of the nice things about the 5K camera is that I can actually see who everyone is and where they're sitting, but I have to do it manually. So once I see them, I write it down or take a picture and write it down. Couldn't it automate that functionality for me?
Yes, those things, all those extensions are quite feasible, Gary, as you said exactly. You know, it needs a little bit more work and training data, but
and also approvals, I guess you'd have to.
Oh, of course, yeah. People have to opt in. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe John, you can comment a bit about the two technologies that we showed and how they're working. Yeah.
And John is off camera, so if he's going to comment, I'd love to see that.
He's actually not, but he's way over there. So yeah, he's got in the corner.
Yeah, okay. There's something called transfer learning. I think one advantage of our camera is, of course, it's a 180-degree field of view, and it can see everything. When you use that as a sensor, you don't want to leave anything out. So that's one advantage. The second advantage, we have a very low distortion. So for everything you can see, and it's the same geometrical shape as everybody sees with other cameras. So that means model trained by other people can be directly used on our camera. And then there's something called transfer learning. The model you just see is an open source model, and people train with close to 1 million images. And you can see some of the objects, the accuracy is not so high. And some other companies or some other people want to add new objects into this. And there's something called transfer learning. You don't have to train the model from scratch. You can utilize a model already trained by somebody else and do some incremental learning, and with relatively low number of images, like a few hundreds maybe, and you can recognize new objects or add accuracy to existing objects.
Yeah, and I suspect if you're a company or an organization that has the same 20 or 30 objects you're always constantly wanting to recognize, that becomes a lot easier than if it's just a random location where you're trying to recognize everything passing by.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And so
I do see this in having a future security implications.
It could go into many different markets. You know, our focus right now is exactly helping people work better together and making their workflow automation easier, right? So instead of having to manually book rooms or to figure out what's the seasonality of use, how many people use what spaces, is it the right utilization for that space, right? But yeah, there's so many other use cases. We've got folks now looking at responsive advertising.
Yeah, and here, I think that it's incumbent upon the integrators watching this to think outside the box a little bit of how you could use this and how you could launch this to your customers, because they're not going to think of this. But if you show this to them, they'll be like, oh, I've got all these applications, because people don't know what they want if they don't know it exists. So I think that that's part of the battle. And I guess my response would be, how open is the API? Are you going to have an API for this? And how well are you going to work with different applications?
Yeah, it's a standards-based, it's, on the UVC extension unit, so very easy to use. We've enabled different customers. I think Zoom is using it to integrate us into their Zoom rooms.
Is this going to be a free upgrade for everyone, or is this going to be an upgrade you pay for? How's it going to work?
Everybody who has intelligent Zoom will get this free of cost. And the API anyway is free of cost, because we want to let people benefit, use this as a platform and layer their technology and their value add on top. Exactly.
Yeah, and you'll be in booth, North Hall booth 1868, which is the same hall we're in. Of course, Altia Systems, the easiest way to find the product is at getpenacast.com. I believe that's the fastest way to find it. And this is all part of the same 5K resolution camera. I really appreciate this demo. I think people will find this very interesting.
Thanks very much, Gary. Great catching up, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for joining us in the room and demoing this for us here on my special video version of my Rants and Rave podcast. Of course, we're going to be doing this all the way till we get to InfoComm. And if you want to see all the stuff we do at InfoComm, just go to ravepubs.com. And in the meantime, go to getpenacast.com to check out their products and become a dealer. It's a product company that everyone in the AV integration market should be selling because everyone's doing rooms like you mentioned, Zoom and Skype and WebEx and all these other conferencing systems. 180-degree field of view. It's awesome. I use it, love it. And thanks to Tascam for making this audio sound good, and thanks to Altia Systems and Panicast for making the video look good.
Awesome. Yeah, the audio has been awesome. And as you said, Gary, I mean, people want information, right? So it's going to give them that new layer of capability, and it's really where the future is. It's where all the innovation is driving AV into this whole new intelligent vision space.
Agreed. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.